attending our October 22nd Planning Commission meeting. I'll call this meeting to order at 6:00 p.m. Madam Clerk, good evening. Could you please call roll?
Commissioner Knighton,
Here.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Here.
Commissioner Thomas,
Here.
Vice Chair Holler,
Here.
and Chair Madrid.
Here. Okay. Brian, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So I see there are no presentations tonight. Are there any modifications to the agenda?
We have none.
Okay. Can I ask the Planning Commission for an all in favor to approve the agenda? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Hearing none, the agenda is approved as modified. Okay, Madam Clerk, are there any requests to speak on the agenda tonight, non-agenda items tonight?
We do not.
Thank you. Okay. There's one set of minutes for the Planning Commission's approval. Does the Planning Commission have any modifications? Or none? Okay. Could I ask the Planning Commission for an all in favor to approve the October 8, 2025 minutes, please?
Aye.
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 Aye. Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Okay, there are no consent calendar items. Okay, so we'll move on to public hearing items. Before we begin the public hearing, I'd like to briefly explain the procedures. Following the staff presentation and any questions from the commission, I will open the public hearing. The applicant will then have an opportunity to speak, followed by the members of the audience who wish to address the commission. Each speaker will be given up to 3 uninterrupted minutes to provide their comments. Please note that the commission will not be able to respond to comments or questions posed during the public comment portion, but may raise questions or issues with staff or the applicant after the public hearing is closed. So that takes us to item 9.1, tentative tract map 39115, Menifee 27. This is item 9.1. Could the Community Development Director please introduce the item?
Thank you, Chair. We've been working very closely with the applicant for almost a year now, and we're happy to bring this item forward, and Planner Russell Brown will be doing the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Orlando. Good evening, Chair Madrid and Commissioners.
Russell.
IT, thank you. So as mentioned, the item before you tonight is the Menifee 27 residential project. That consists of plot plan, that consists of tentative tract map 39115, planning application number PLN 24-0230, and major plot plan PLN 24-0254. The project is located north of Highway 74, south of Watson Road, east of Antelope Road, along the and west of Palomar Road, along the west side of Palomar Road. It's about 300 feet north of Highway 74. The project site is located within planning areas 7A and 7B of the Menifee North Specific Plan, SP number 260. The project site is surrounded by residentially zoned sites to the north, east, and west, and commercially zoned sites to the south. The proposed project is compatible with the surrounding land uses. A little background on the project site and the area. In 1993, the Menifee North specific plan was approved by the county. The plan at that time consisted of over 2,400 residential units and 1,600 acres divided amongst the various communities of Menifee at the time, Romo Land, some areas in Homeland. Since the SP was approved in 1993, there have been 5 major amendments to the specific plan. The most significant amendment as it relates to the project occurred in 2008, and that created both the planning areas, planning area 7A and 7B, and it also revised the land use from business park zoning to residential zoning. In conjunction with that amendment, there was a tentative track map that was approved. That's tentative track map 34118. However, that map has since expired. And then in November of 2024, the applicant submitted a SB 330 application in an effort to vest some rights and fees associated with the project. So the entitlements for the project include, as I mentioned, a tentative track map for the 192 residential lot subdivision and a plot plan for the site plan and architectural review. As mentioned, the project includes the 192 dwelling units over the 27.14 acres, which equates to a density of 7.07 dwelling units per acre. The project consists of 2 product types. 4,000 square foot minimum lot size in the northern half of the development and a 2,625 square foot lot size in the southern half of the development. And take note that there is an unusual planning area boundary, as you can see on the slide there. So the planning area, the product types are not necessarily, planning area 7A is not all the 4,000s, and planning area 7B is not necessarily all the smaller lots, as you can see by the unusual boundary shape there. There is some overlap, so both planning areas do have both of the product types, although the majority of the larger lots are in 7A, and the majority of the smaller lots are in 7B. Each unit has a minimum 400 square foot 2-car garage that satisfies the city's minimum parking requirement. 135 surface parking spaces are provided throughout the project site for a total of 519 parking spaces. So this project does include state density bonus law. Although density bonus law is relatively new to the city of Menifee, as this being one of the first projects we've taken forward. The idea has been around since 1979. Although it's constantly evolving and changing. But essentially, density bonus law allows for developers to exceed density that's established in a general plan in exchange for them providing affordable units. The particular project, is applying for the very low income level. And by doing so, 5% of the base density needs to be set aside as the low income. And by them doing so, they qualify for a 20% bonus, or an increase in units or lots of 20%. And then by them, again, providing the affordable units, the project qualifies for an unlimited number of waivers and concessions of the development standards. So as it relates to the project, a little example there. So the base density established in the specific plan is the 172 base dwelling units times 5% is 8.6, or round up to 9 units. They're providing that. The project then, if they do the 172 units by the 20% density bonus, they could potentially go up to 206 units. They're proposing the 192 total units, or a 12% density bonus. So because the project is providing the 9 affordable units, they qualify for an unlimited number of waivers and concessions per the density bonus law. The table on the right identifies the development standards in which a waiver is being requested. A few of the more substantial requests are the minimum lot size. The specific plan identifies or requires planning area 7A to have a minimum lot size of the 4,000 square feet. The project proposed is 2,625 square feet. The setbacks, front yard setback, the SP requires 10 feet. The project proposes a 3-foot front yard setback, and the interior side yard is 5 feet. The project proposes 4 feet. Now, as I previously mentioned on that prior slide that showed the planning area boundaries, the majority of the lots within 7A do meet those minimum requirements. It's just kind of, again, that funky boundary line that was created when that prior map was approved, kind of established that boundary. And again, because they're proposed in the density bonus, you know, they're eligible for these waivers.
Yep.
And then just continuing on with planning area 7B, similar to 7A, minimum lot size is the 2625, front yard setbacks going from 10 feet to 3 feet, and the side yards going from 5 feet to 4 feet. So so in addition to the waivers to the development standards, there's also a couple waivers, 2 waivers that are being proposed as it relates to the landscaping. So the first is for a front yard tree requirement within planning area 7B, so that'd be for the smaller lots. Obviously, with a 3-foot front yard setback, it's not feasible to put a tree there. So that is what one waiver is for, and then the other waiver is for parkway or right-of-way landscaping.
Can I ask a quick question on this?
Sure.
On the 7Bs with the smaller lots, is the rear setback still 15 feet? Is it the same as the large lots, or what is the rear setback?
It is 10 feet.
It's 10 feet.
Right.
10 feet, okay.
Yep. So and that's the minimum. So I think there's several instances where the smaller lots actually have a 15-foot rear yard setback. But at no case in either of the lots, one, they're not requesting the waiver. They meet what's established in the specific plan.
Hey,
And then-
Russell,
Yes.
that 10-foot setback, is that from the face of the wall or the roof eaves?
So it's generally to the face of the wall of
Okay,
the
thank you.
building. So it's structure to the property line. Generally, you know, homes might have an eave overhang of 12 inches, 18 inches, but generally it's walled to property line. And as I kind of touched on the prior slide, I apologize, it doesn't look like this slide got updated, but this slide compares the typical street section of the proposed project on the right to our standard street section on the left. The city standard is on the right, the project typical street sections are on the left. And so as you can see, I guess this doesn't accurately show it, but the minimum pavement width, when you look at the box there on the lower right for the city standard, has a minimum pavement width of 24 feet. So on the right side, that's 12 feet of pavement in each travel lane. So the proposed project still meets that minimum requirement. They also still have the sidewalk that's shown on the city standard. What they're missing is the 5-foot parkway is what the waiver request is for. So again, they meet the minimum roadway width. The waiver request is for parkway landscaping. So there's no concern over public health and safety related to that, as they meet the minimum roadway requirement.
So Russell, even though these are private streets, they're still designed to the city standard plan, which is these standard sections here.
As far as the roadway width and the pavement width, sidewalk, yes, it's the parkway, the landscape parkway that is not consistent with the city standard.
Thank you.
And so this slide shows the HOA landscaping throughout the project site. The HOA landscaping area is approximately 152,000 square feet. In addition to the HOA landscaped area, the private property owners or privately maintained landscaped area is approximately 248,000 square feet. When you divide that by the total number of residential lots of 192, it comes out to approximately 1,300 square feet of open space per residential lot. The applicant is proposing the following amenities. As you can see, I guess more centrally located on the screen is a paseo that runs in the northern portion, the northern block, if you will, of planning area 7A, and it serves as increases, I guess, walkability through the site for the properties to the north, can cut through the paseo to access the pool area in the center of the site. The pool area is approximately 17,600 square feet, and again is centrally located. The tot lot is approximately 11,000 square feet, and that's located right off of the primary entrance to the site. So as you pull into the site, you get a nice visual of the tot lot as opposed to, a wall or something else less appealing. So that was strategically done by the applicant and the city. So the architecture for the site, so the larger lots within planning area 7A reflect Spanish, prairie, and farmhouse architectural styles. The Spanish style features stucco exteriors with tile roofs, arched entryways, and decorative shutters, characterized by warm and earthy color schemes. The prairie style includes horizontal lines, low-pitched roofs, and lap siding. The farmhouse style is characterized by simple forms, gabled roofs, and board and batten siding with neutral color schemes. The smaller lots within planning area 7B reflect ranch, traditional, and cottage architectural styles. The ranch style emphasizes broad facades and simple detailing. The traditional style features symmetrical facades, gabled roofs, and modest detailing. The cottage style presents cozy, storybook-inspired designs with prominent front porches combined with natural stone elements for the added texture.
Nice.
The pool building features a Spanish elevation with soft neutral colors that complement the architecture throughout the project. The project includes a 6-foot perimeter block wall and 5.5 to 6 foot internal vinyl fencing. The detention basins will be enclosed with tubular steel fencing, and the project proposes a couple nice monument entry wall signs there with stone veneer and landscaped at the base. All right, so the environmental determination for the project. So the city's general plan and the Menifee North specific plan analyzed and anticipated the project site to be developed as a residential project, and therefore no additional environmental analysis is required. The project is consistent with what was analyzed and envisioned for the area. The project qualifies for a 15182 projects pursuant to a specific plan exemption, as well as the 15183 projects consistent with the community or general plan. In addition to that, our CEQA consultant, EPD Solutions, is here to answer any questions you may have. But again, a detailed environmental checklist, CEQA environmental checklist was prepared for the project. Additional technical studies were done. It's not just a simple exemption. There was quite a bit of detail and thought that goes into these, and an official environmental checklist document is prepared, and that was a part of an attachment to this packet. And then we did receive one public comment from the group Safer. That was yesterday afternoon. So it was a simple objection letter to the project. They did not provide any further evidence on why they object, other than they don't feel it qualifies for those exemptions. So we did provide a written, our environmental consultant EPD did provide a written response, and the response and the comment letter is located within your blue folders. And then in addition to that, there's one other thing. There was another minor change to some language in one of the whereas conditions in the reso, as well as a sentence or two in the staff report were updated to more accurately reflect the SB 330 application process and outlining how just, I guess, more detailed on the specifics that I guess the purpose of SB 330 for the developer standpoint is to lock in those fees. And so it was just providing a little more insight for the record. And that was included in the blue folder. So this comes to staff's recommendation. So staff recommends that the Planning Commission determine that the tentative track map and major plot plan do not require the additional environmental analysis and are exempt per CEQA 15182 and 15183 CEQA exemptions, and direct staff to file the notice of exemption. And additionally, staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt the resolution approving tentative track map 39115 and plot plan number PLN 24-0254. And again, that completes staff's presentation. If you have additional comments or questions, we're available, as is the applicant, Brian Taylor. And then the CEQA folks with EPD Solutions is here as well.
I have a
Thank you,
question.
Senior Planner Russell Brown. Planning Commission, who wants to go first? Chris?
I have a simple
That
question.
was-
On the TUMP fees and things like that, were they, did the TUMP fee include the increased units from the bonus, or do they get a waiver of that or any kind of reduction for any of those fees?
So it does include, they have to pay TUMF on the additional units. That is correct.
Okay. And all the other type of
All the other,
fees
yeah, they
are-
have to pay all impact fees. The purpose of the SB 330 application is it locks in user fees, your building permit application fees, your plot plan application fees, to the date that the application was submitted, which was November 25th of last year. And it locks in the TUMP fees at that time, as well as the diff fees.
And is that 2.5-year wording in the agreement starting from last November?
November 25th, 2024. So,
Okay.
so that's that's the day the fees are applicable, but actually the 2.5-year date is from the date, I guess it would be tonight's date. Should the
Tonight's
Planning
date.
Commission approve the project, it would be 2.5 years from today's date. They have to commence construction according to the bill.
Okay.
Commissioner Knighton? Commissioner Ramirez?
Thank you. I have a question with regard to the affordable housing units. How long will those stay affordable?
Good question.
So as I can have the applicant Brian Taylor elaborate on that, but as the project is conditioned to, the applicant is conditioned to enter an affordable housing agreement with the city. So some of those details will be worked out, kind of in post entitlement, if you will. But Brian has more experience in this field, so I can let him elaborate on that.
Commissioner, it's generally 55 years in if I recall correctly. That's the time that it has to stay as that income level.
So what happens in the meantime? So what's the 50?
To stay affordable for 55 years, that would be the requirement
Okay.
of those homes. Yeah,
So they can't sell for market rate? Is what
Correct.
you're saying? Okay.
correct.
Thank you, Tammy, for that question. Commissioner Holler?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do have a couple of questions. Excuse me. Given it's a density bonus project, my questions are limited to public safety, specifically fire. So if you, Russell, could be so kind as to go back to a site plan.
Yeah.
There we go. So I saw the widths of the, well, first of all, I noted in the agenda item that the street design, and you did address this, street design does not meet city standard for residential streets, and the applicant has addressed a waiver as they can do through this process. So when I read that, I didn't know what the waiver was for, and obviously I was concerned when I read that the street design didn't meet city standards. My question then, and I'm very glad, appreciate the fire marshal being here to answer this question, is so roads A, B, and C, which are 40 feet curb to curb, at the west end of the project, they transition into the narrower road, which is 28 feet curb to curb. I did read in the conditions that fire has restricted parking along that area, but my question really involves, and I didn't see it as a part of the package, is a turning template for fire apparatus. Can you get a ladder truck, for example, around those corners and the T intersection on, what is that, B Street there? So that's really, my question is just to make sure that you can put fire apparatus where you need to put it. So I was not able to determine that just with looking at the exhibit in the agenda report. So, Madam Fire Marshal, I'm going to ask you.
All right, thank you. Good evening, Chair Madrid and Commissioners. Yes, so that's a good question. For the fire department, apparatus access roads, part of the submittal packages, we did require them to show an exhibit showing the maneuvering of the radiuses. As you can see on the circulation radius here, we have a 24-foot inside radius with the outside radius of 45 feet. Those radiuses have been determined based on the largest piece of equipment that CAL FIRE, Riverside County Fire does have. Not meaning that that's part of the ladder truck, because that is a very large piece of equipment, but it's very easy to maneuver, right? So it would be based on the largest piece of equipment, one of the engines that we would have. And these dimensions on the radiuses that we have provided here and they've provided to us in the review do meet our fire department radiuses and our standards. It's exhibited, in this exhibit, it does show the T intersection and the more northern section of the radiuses, still utilizing the 24-foot access roadway that did not decrease.
So the answer is yes, you can get a ladder truck or a tiller or whatever you determine meets those outside and inside radii on the curve. You can get them around the corner.
That's correct.
And then I have one, thank you, and I have one follow-up question. And this would be about any parking restriction on streets A, B, or C, which are wider, but if you need to line that apparatus up to be able to navigate that corner, is there any kind of parking restriction on the inside radius? I didn't see that in the COAs.
Right, so some of them here are addressed. The lines that you see here in the red that are the solid lines would be, the parking would be prohibited. You might be referring to more of when you're coming out of the street and you're going to hang a right on that T. Some of that red curbing, which it isn't addressed on this exhibit, but if I understand correctly, and maybe Alberto, you could chime in on this, that it could be something that could be painted red in a future development.
Yes, this could be addressed in engineering when the final engineering is going to be done. Normally, you can see we don't have parking next to the intersections. By law, they cannot park within 20 feet of any cross-section, any crossing. But if there is a request from you that we can paint red, we can extend the paint red. This is private development.
Thank you. So Alberto, the dashed red line on the inside curb line there where it's adjacent to the 24-foot radius, is parking allowed with the dashed red line on streets A, B, and C?
If you take a note on item 63, that's where on lot 63, there is a little square. That's where the last car can be parked at that location. You can look over there too.
63, okay.
Yeah.
63,
And you see the little square on the street, that's where the last parking permitted is gonna happen.
Oh, but that's because of the driveway configurations?
Yeah, all the driveways are too close to each other,
Okay.
but it
Not
can.
quite the
it-
same as a parking restriction, but it does the same thing. Yeah.
Right,
So-
as you know, they will park even though
Sure.
they have a driveway.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, and in terms of the fairly recent daylight law, I would seriously doubt that Menifee PD is going to enforce that on a private street inside a residential sub, but I could be wrong. However, I think you've adequately, my concern, I just want to state my concern. It's just that we can get fire apparatus around the corners that, parallel park cars don't interfere with that. And as long as the answer to that is we can, then I'm good.
Yes, sir, we can.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That concludes
Appreciate it.
my questions.
And planning, Russell, you guys put 20 pounds of potatoes in the 5-pound bag here. Look at this table. I wasn't gonna go there, but I'm still mesmerized by it. So you've got 7B, lot size, go from 7,200 square feet to 2,625? Wow, that's,
Right, but just bear in mind though, the prior project that was approved, it did meet the 7,200s, but it was a condo map, so it was more of a
that
4-pack.
makes sense, yeah.
So they were more like 10,000 square foot lots, but they had 4-pack of condos within there. And in a sense, this is single family product. In a sense, it does serve more as, a condominium type, townhome type community.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like the Village and Town Center or Tricon development over there. It's similar feel.
And with a 3-foot setback driveway, or no driveway, actually. Yeah? For the applicant, I have a question. Okay. So, Michael? Go ahead.
CEQA? Are you guys CEQA? Okay, you're gonna earn your money right now. I got one question for you. With the objection from Safer, you guys reviewed that?
Yes,
And no issues at all?
no,
Okay, that's all I need from you.
thank you.
Thanks.
Did you earn that money?
Yeah, they earned a lot of money for that question. And this probably goes to Alberto. Including the parcel on the east side, what's the ultimate width for Palomar Road?
Commissioner Michael Knight, the ultimate is 78 feet from both sides of the road,
Ultimate is 78,
78.
and how many directions of travel is that?
It's two, one in each way.
One each way,
Yeah,
plus bike lanes, parking,
yeah, this is,
sidewalks are additional than the,
this is classified as a industrial collector, so it's one each way.
okay. And there'll be a center
A
left turn
painted
lane,
median. Yeah, they have a painted median, that's part of our
and no
standard.
center divider?
No, it's just a
No,
painted.
no
median.
raised center divider?
No, it's just
Okay.
a painted median.
And final question to either Mr. Brown or whoever. This being an SB 330 project, the city's hands are kind of tied on the density bonus and everything that SB 330 does,
Kinda.
kind of in a way. I don't want to say hands are tied,
Yes, they are.
but there's things you need to follow. But we, at this point this evening, are making the ultimate decision. SB 330 does not put it in our laps that we must approve this project, correct?
That is correct. It is up to the Planning Commission's discretion.
Okay, thank you.
Chair,
Could,
I just wanted to quickly elaborate on that.
that's what I was gonna ask. I wanna know what that means.
Mr. Brown is definitely correct. The Planning Commission definitely still has discretion to approve. However, in the event that the commission believes that there are reasons to deny the project, my recommendation would be to continue the item so that we can make certain written findings as required under SB 330. The Planning Commission would have to make these findings with a preponderance of the evidence as to why you would be denying the project. And there are certain enumerated reasonings under SB 330 that can be used to deny a project under SB 330. As to the state density bonus law, you can deny a concession or incentive or waiver based on separate findings that need to be made under the state density bonus laws.
Thank you.
Thank you, City Attorney. Okay. So let's move on to, I'll open the, is everyone already, no more questions, guys? Oh, Tammy, you have one more question? Okay.
In terms of the conditions of approval, if, I was reading that if the affordable units don't get sold within 180 days, they have to find someone to sell those units. Can you explain that process, and who would that be?
Yes, so we can, again, have the applicant, Mr. Taylor, explain on that a little further. But the way the condition is written is that after 180 days, the developer can then bring in someone like a Habitat for Humanity or a Wounded Warriors, and they can, again, either exchange, sell, transfer the properties from the developer to a group like that, and then the Habitat for Humanity type of group, they've got their own kind of rules and regulations and standards to follow to make sure that they meet that very low income level, which is 50% of the AMI, adjusted median income for the area. So in short, it's a Habitat for Humanity.
Commissioner Mears, if I can add, and one of the benefits of doing that is that these organizations are used to doing these type of transactions. They have the experience to get the individuals to that meet that income qualification. So that would be a default in case the developer is not successful.
Is that affordability a deed restriction? It is a deed restriction.
Yep.
All right. Commissioners, we done? Okay.
Michael, if I just want to clarify one thing, the section of pavement is not the 78 feet, is the right-of-way, 78 feet, but the section of pavement is 56.
More like it.
And that would be for Palomar.
On Palomar.
Yeah, that would be for Palomar.
Yeah, 78 is the right-of-way.
Yeah, because the eastern property is not to full max.
Because the remaining distance, it's sidewalks and parkways. So
Okay.
it's, yeah.
Gotcha, thank you.
Okay, just to clarify.
Okay, we're good. I'll open the public hearing at 6:38 p.m. Madam Clerk, can you confirm that the item was legally noticed and if any correspondence has been received?
It was, and correspondence is in your blue folders.
Thank you. So at this time, I would like to invite the applicant to the podium to speak.
Good evening, Planning Commission. Brian Taylor, project manager for this Menifee 27 project. First, just want to thank staff for working with me over the last year. Lots of work has been done on this and close collaboration, so we appreciate that. To address a few of the great questions that were brought up tonight, as far as TUMF and development impact fees, we will be paying on for every single project, including the affordable projects as well, so all 192. And then, yeah, we do have to actually start construction, demo, or grading within 2.5 years from the final approval date in order to have those rights stay vested. For the affordable side, 45 years is typical for sale, 55 for rent. These will be for sale, which is a really unique and great aspect about this project because you'll have 9 very low-income affordable units that will be dispersed throughout the site and look and feel just like every single other market rate house, but they'll be affordable and give people that normally wouldn't be able to live in a house like this the opportunity to do so. And what we've done in the past, and it's really worked out, and worked with Russell on this condition, is to set up where we could have a not-for-profit like Habitat for Humanity come in and help facilitate finding qualified buyers, because it is actually a challenge, surprisingly, to find somebody that can qualify for low-income housing, and that's where Habitat for Humanity and other organizations like that can come in and really help out and ensure that it's a successful, lower income unit throughout its lifespan. For life safety, certainly when using state density bonus law and SB 330, we follow that closely, and as you saw, we put together as clear as possible exhibit for the fire department to review, and we worked closely with them to make sure we were meeting all the standards and that they were satisfied with our project. And we also did pay attention to those parking stalls to make sure that they would have the turning radii that they need and not get in the way of anything. Additionally, when we talked about parking enforcement, there will be an HOA here, so the HOA will form a parking committee, I'm sure, and they'll be regulating parking, because that's just, parking continues to be a challenge no matter how much parking you have in every new community. For the waivers on this, going from 7,200 down to 2,600, the minimum for the larger lots is about 4,500 square feet. And as Russell pointed out a couple times, just due to the configuration of the zoning and those awkward lines, we have some of the smaller product on the southern part that are actually in the larger zone. And so that's why we had to request those waivers. Still the majority or all of the larger lots have much larger lots than 2,600 square feet. If you guys have any questions, I'm here to answer, and we really appreciate everyone's time tonight.
All right, thanks. Thank you, Brian. Before I forget, so do you agree to the conditions of approval?
Yes.
No, don't go yet. Commissioners, do you have any questions for Mr. Taylor? Commissioner Holler.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Russell, could you put the slide just like this, but for 7B? So I know that the project meets the parking. In fact, you have additional parking over and above what the requirement is, and that you're counting, inappropriately so, the 2 spaces in an enclosed garage. But I do note here that the driveways are not long enough in this area to park a car in the driveway. And folks do have a tendency to put things besides vehicles in their garage. And I'm not sure whether this is going to be a staff or a you, but I'll ask it this way. Is this something that you would restrict in the HOA that requires folks to be able to park both cars in their garage?
Correct, yeah, so the HOA will actually, they could implement garage inspections to go as far as making sure that people aren't just storing items in their garage and they're actually parking. And this will all be disclosed when the homes are sold, and make sure that everyone's aware that these garages are meant for parking. You guys do not have driveways if you're purchasing one of these units, and there is an HOA to regulate that.
Thank you.
Commissioner Holler, the applicant's required to submit CC&Rs for us to review, and we will make sure that language is incorporated in that document.
I appreciate that. I realize that we don't enforce CC&Rs, but I do appreciate the opportunity to review the CC&Rs. Or I could drive your city attorney crazy and talk more about CC&Rs.
So can I ask, Ivan, kind of piggyback on that? Say somebody does what most people do, is fill their garage, or maybe at least one of the spaces, and they have 3 cars, so they're gonna put one in the garage, they can park one on the street, right? Isn't that what the assumption is in this? There's space for 1 street parking?
Yeah, assuming the HOA could implement that the guest stalls are only for guests and not for residents, but they don't have to go that far, so.
So I guess what I'm saying is, if the reality that most people are going to fill all or most of their garage, in reality, where are the rest of it? And it's gonna be a 2 or 3 car, let's assume 2 per household. Where are they gonna go?
There is plenty of guest parking, parallel stalls and head-in stalls throughout the site as well.
So how many guest stalls are there?
Let's see, Russell might have that off the top
so-
if I don't.
Yep, I got it here. Additionally, it's 135 135 surface parking spaces, and that does not include the larger lots. So there's 75 of the larger lots. Those have driveways as well.
That they
So
can
they
park.
could potentially park in those
Okay,
driveways
that's
as well. So
better.
I guess it's about, half the project or so does not have the garage, or I'm sorry, does not have driveway. I should say, turn it around. Half of the project does have driveway parking.
Okay. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, 103 of the units have driveways.
Okay,
That will
that's a little
fit.
better.
And I think,
Otherwise, yeah, it wasn't,
I think,
not gonna work.
yeah, I think the critical component is gonna be staff review of the CCNRs, not enforcement of the CCNRs.
Michael, do you have a question?
Yes. Good evening, Mr. Taylor. Looking at the site plan, this does not look like a gated community.
Correct.
From the entrances.
Gated.
I have a concern about the tot lot. Ideally, I'd like it 4 blocks to the west, but I heard through the staff report that it's kind of a visual thing as you pull in the southern driveway. Will it be fenced, the tot lot?
Not yet.
So currently not fenced, but it is surrounded by trees.
As I'll just give you a little quick background. My wife's a school teacher. She deals with kids that you turn your back for 1 second, some of them take off.
Sounds like my kids.
With that tot lot being so close to Palomar, and every mom in there staring at one of these, and the main entrance to Palomar, I have concerns about child safety, and that includes throwing balls, chasing butterflies, whatever. Would you, I doubt you'd move the tot lot and trade it for 4 blocks away, those 4 units. Would you be willing to install a fence surrounding the tot lot or the park?
Yeah, I think a 3-foot tall tubular steel fence with gates would be perfect. That's the type of park that I take my 2 kids to, where I live, and we have the spot right around the rubberized surface that we have along the tot lot. It'd be perfect, and it's something we could add to the conditions. And yeah.
Madam Clerk, can you add that to the minutes? And Madam Attorney, can you include that in the conditions? Thank you.
Commissioner Ramirez.
Michael, thank you for raising that concern because I had the same concern, so I appreciate you raising it.
Think alike.
Yes, we do. I wanted to ask you, what were the proposed, I'm not sure if you would know now, but what are the proposed market rate for these types of developments, including the affordable units? And will the affordable units also be paying into the HOA?
So as far as revenue goes, I'm not unfortunately on that side of the business, so I do not know. But luckily in the city of Menifee, there are other comps like the Village project over on the other side of the freeway, or Lenar's project to the south. So it's going to be similar to those price points based off of a similar product. And then on the affordable side, yes, they will be paying into the HOA, but that goes into their monthly payment calculation, including property tax. It's even more of a complicated formula than just the market rate stuff, but they do take that into account.
Yeah. Russell, could you pull up the site plan exhibit? So I look at that, Brian, I don't get a sense of community. It's just a bunch of parallel, perpendicular lines and houses. They'll look better with the landscaping, but, so I was thinking, could you could you put like a 12-foot median on the main entrance and put some nice landscaping on that? Have you thought, did you think about, address that before?
As far as the 2 entryways on Palomar, coming off Palomar?
Yeah, the main entry.
We would have to look to see if we can fit them and meet fire department standards as well as the road width standards. That's something we could consider, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, yeah, you'd lose a lot, probably. So that's,
Got
you
it.
would, it would fit, not the way it's, not with that number of lots. But it just looks, this thing, you know, the things we approve, you know, we have to look at for the rest of our lives.
Mhm.
So what's it gonna look like in 20 years? And this is, you're kind of opening up this area, you're kind of the gateway to there. So I'm just looking, I'm being planning commission type, just thinking, I know you've gone through crossed every T and dotted every I, but I don't see anything here that would make me want to live here. I don't want anybody to hear that, but, I mean, just make me want it, that's all I'm saying. That's how I'm trying to pose that question.
Understood. Yeah, we've added in as you know, as with the pool, the central amenity area, the tot lot. We've given everybody private yards. Really tried to make this community a community and a place where people want to live, and we believe we've done that.
Well, your elevations are nice and your colors are nice and all, but that's what I see when I'm asking that. So
This is just off the wall, out of the box thinking here.
Okay.
You've got your basin. What's the cost of doing a underground covered basin, you know, like they're doing commercial units and things? And then opening up space, you could have some bigger lots. I don't know what the cost is on something like that.
We do not normally accept underground basing for residential project. We require them to be open basing.
Okay.
There's problems with later on with HOA maintenance. There's quite a bit of stuff that we don't normally recommend that to be done.
well, yeah, you know, this statement here kind of, well, I'll wait till after. So anybody else have any questions for the applicant? We good? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Madam Clerk, are there any requests to speak, or would anyone in the audience like to make a comment?
We do.
Okay.
Carrie Horvath.
Good evening, Planning Commission. My name is Kari Horvath, and I am the Director of Family Services and Education Programs at Habitat for Humanity Inland Valley. So it seems like there might be some questions for me. I'm excited about that, but maybe I should start by saying that I oversee the homeownership program. I've been with Habitat now for 5 years. Prior to that, I was on their board. And really, my specialty is in down payment assistance homeownership programs. I came from the county. So you'd be excited to know that Menifee is one of our most popular cities in our service area. Just as an example, we have a Habitat home that is, we're exercising our right of first refusal because the family's moving out of town. They're going for a job. And so we have 3 workshops coming up next week, and all of them are sold out. There's 60 or plus registrations for each class. And this is for one homeownership opportunity. So I'm super excited to be here because I know this would be a great opportunity for our Habitat families. So our homeownership, or I should start with Habitat. If you're not familiar with Habitat, Habitat is a nonprofit affordable housing developer, but we are also direct lenders for special programs. So we do our own financing for some of our projects, you know, for the mortgage financing. We have a year-round application process for our program. So we don't wait for homes to become available, homeownership opportunities to become available. We work with families year-round, individuals and families, to become home buyer ready. So we have pre-purchase and post-purchase education. Our pre-purchase includes financial wellness classes. It's a series of 5 classes. And then our post-purchase will include things like basic maintenance, home repairs. We also talk about warranty versus home insurance. So we try to support the families not just in becoming a homeowner, but also to be able to stay in their homes, and thrive in their homes. We've recently partnered with workforce development because there's only so much assistance we can provide, and then the gap is going to have to come with income. And so we're really excited with this partnership. We think that we have kind of closed the gap to be able to really help families thrive. Homeownership is the American dream, and we're here to help families achieve that. Did
Good.
you have
I
any
just wanted to
questions?
ask you,
Sure.
so that means you have an agreement, a written agreement with Malia Homes?
No, actually, currently, we're still in discussion, so we are hoping to come to an agreement.
Yeah, you probably will.
Thank you. I did want to address the 50, someone had a question about how long the affordability period is. And so that's something that we're familiar with because a lot of our funding comes from city, county, sometimes state, and those require affordability periods as well. So there's different ways to manage that, but I think in this situation, because it has to remain affordable, our right of first refusal, that's an opportunity for us to exercise that so that we can help with the next family coming in, so that they also meet the very low income limit. And just so you know, we do sell our homes also at market value. How we make it affordable is that we layer it with different funding sources. It's complicated, but works great.
Very good.
Sure.
Just generally for Habitat Humanity, what is the typical lifespan of the purchaser of a home? Do they stay there for 5 years, 10 years? Do they typically move for whether it's job or family or something? What's the turnover rate on this?
I want to say this is actually only our second home that we are exercising our right of first refusal. So our families have stayed in the homes. We have probably 2 or 3 that have finished paying off their loan. So they own their home.
Stick around then.
Yes, they do.
Very cool.
do.
That's a good service you provide. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nobody else? Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah. Any other speakers, Madam Clerk?
We have none.
Okay, so I will close the public hearing at 6:57 PM. Okay, guys, does the Planning Commission have any other comments or discussion? Commissioner Holler.
Just more of a general comment that I'm a fan of local control, and when the legislature in their infinite wisdom enacted bonus laws, they create challenges for us. So that's just an editorial aside.
Good one.
I got a comment.
Commissioner Thomas.
So everyone knows I'm not a lover of density in any way, shape, or form. However, I will say this because of the state and lack of local control, there is a little more crowding here. However, there's a similar product to this that a couple of my friends live in down in Murrieta on Whitewood, not quite down to Clinton Keith. And while I won't call the parking spacious and the houses spacious, there's a lot of young families or families that are income limited, and they eventually graduate out of there. So I've seen it work, and there's a time and a place for these. I would not want to see Menifee highly populated with this. That's not our community, but there is a place for some of these here. So I'll just play in both sides there. So.
Okay, Michael?
I'd have to agree with you, Commissioner Thomas. Not a fan, per se. I wouldn't live in one of these homes. I'm looking at retiring soon. I wouldn't do this, but we have a young market. Kids are still living at home up to 30 years old. They should be out maybe buying homes by then. This is a product for them and their new wife, new girlfriend, whatever. Hey, it's not $800,000, so they can get in them. And not even the low income ones, but We do need some of these here and there. Not the entire city, but it is a product we should be looking at.
Okay, I'm gonna pick up where Commissioner Holler left off. So, talking about the state and their infinite wisdom, this is not gonna work because of them. It's gonna work because of planning and our applicants' innovative work. I would say this is pretty innovative, and it is needed. It's just not something I want to make sure everyone hears, it's not a project we would normally approve. And I wanted to read this here in our packet. It says, absent of these requested waivers, those are the waivers that are on the list of development standards, project would not be able to achieve the 192 single-family residential homes, including 9 that are low-income affordable. So good jobs, guys. I would like to see it look more like a community, whatever that means, but that's really none of my business. So, thank you.
Randy, kind of piggyback of what you just said. Yeah. The waivers of the front yards, I was not thrilled with. When this is built and done, it's going to kind of look like going down an apartment building, because you got the 3 foots, you don't have trees. That's not wonderful. That's part of the SB 330 that I think is disgusting, because it's going to be a little crowded. So I just want it stated for the record as well, if other developers are thinking, oh, look what we can get now in Menifee. If it is not zoned for this type of thing, and don't come in with a GPA and ask to do it, because it will get denied, at least by me. So.
Agreed. Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Any other questions from Planning Commission?
I would echo your sentiments with the rest of the commissioners. I do believe that this is a product that will serve families who are looking to achieve the American dream, and they're so close to it, and this might give them that pathway to it. I do have concerns about the setbacks and, you know, the limited amount of front space. I'm so happy that Commissioner Knighton brought up the fence. So that was a huge concern of mine. So, but I think I agree with you, Commissioner Thomas, about what you said previously. Thank you.
Good? Okay, everybody's good? Okay. There's one resolution for the Commissioner's consideration. There is two. How come I have one here? Well, okay. There are resolutions for the Commissioner's consideration. Can I get a motion and a second to adopt a resolution as amended? Is it going to be one motion, right?
It's one resolution.
Okay, so
There's only one resolution.
there's 2 items in one resolution.
Yes.
There's CEQA, and then there's the site, and the tentative map.
Two actions.
So there's one resolution and 2 actions for the Commissioner's consideration with a amended
Conditions of approval
conditions of approval.
to include the fence around the tot lot.
Okay, yes, okay. So can I get a motion and a second to adopt the resolution as amended and presented by staff? So wait a minute, we didn't tell Planning Commission about the amended. No, the red line one, the one that you gave me. In the blue folder, so everyone saw that, okay. Okay. Okay, so can I get a resolution by the staff? As recommended as amended by staff, sorry. Okay? Does that come up? Yeah, there he goes. Okay. Passes. Congratulations on your project. We'll be watching you. Have you done one of these before? Is that SB 330? Yeah, okay, good. You know what you're doing. Thank you both. Okay. So there are no discussion items. So Community Development Director, Orlando, do you have any updates or comments?
No items to report today. Thank you, Chair.
Does the Planning Commission have anything to report on committee activities, Michael?
Thank you.
Start it for us.
On the 14th, I attended the Finance Committee meeting, which was actually part 3 of the Lennar DA agreement. On the 15th, I attended the Murrieta State of the City event, ran into fellow Commissioner Holler there. On the 17th, no, we won't talk about that one. On the 18th, I attended the Menifee Shred Fest as a citizen of Menifee and cleaned out my office and got a bunch of stuff shredded. So came over here. It was good to see the city clerks earning a little bit of overtime. They deserve it. They work hard. And that's all I got.
Okay. Anyone else?
So I also went to the Shred Fest and had some documents shredded in a very festive atmosphere.
Okay, I attended the 50th anniversary for EMWD last week. 75th. The 75th? I missed 25 years. Wow. Wow. So along with Orlando and Nick and Councilman Carwin and Brian and Rebecca. So your city was well represented. And it was a very celebrative event. That's it? Okay. Okay, would Planning Commission like to request any future agenda items?
I don't have a future agenda item, but I'd like to give, I see Nick there in the aquarium. Want to give a shout out to his team. I reported some graffiti at an entrance to my house on Monday morning. And this morning I got an email saying it was completed. So thanks to your crew, Nick.
Okay. Could we, let me think, how am I going to put, no, I'll skip this. It has to do with the lawsuit that we have with Paris. So I'll just, won't mention anything till we get that global traffic study that we're going to get. Okay, so that's it. Adjourn this meeting at 7:08. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for staying to the very end. All right.